Well, then, welcome to episode 32 of Tangled Rights. We are two lawyers who live in Las Vegas.
For now.
I'm licensed in Nevada. Justin's licensed in Nevada and Kansas. Although we are lawyers, this is not intended to create an attorney-client relationship. This is not legal advice. Consult your local attorney if you have any issues.
Do that.
We talk about law. We talk about a lot of criminal cases, some civil cases. If it's your first time tuning in, welcome. It is Christmas time. That's why I'm wearing my cool Christmas sweater. Green and red. Sleigh all day.
I didn't get the memo. No one bothered to tell me anything.
You're red. You look red.
You're going to get fucking strangled. Keep talking.
I will. Okay, so we want to dive into our first just crazy topic. Some people have seen this, but a Kentucky judge was shot to death, murdered by, it's maybe not murder, maybe justifiable homicide. We'll see, right?
What Moida?
Yeah.
He was the best guy around.
So there is video of the shooting in the judge's chambers in his we call them chambers, which is just an office. If you have been back in chambers, they're just offices, pretty boring offices. Some judges put up like
this time of year,
colors
they're all
and
pretty
stuff.
nice.
They're like they put up Christmas stuff,
the
Halloween
15th
stuff.
Floor, it looks like Christmas just threw up in there, all the way from Peterson, all the way past Delaney.
Some people like that. In Vegas, the judges can put up things even where everybody sits. There's different decor in different courtrooms. It's kind of interesting, but in their chambers, in their office behind, one has a mural to Prince. Really loves Prince. A lot of purple Prince stuff.
Terrible Terry L. Turnipseed from
Was he
Neil
a judge?
DeShannacy. No, he was my professor in law school for estate planning. He sends us all the Nevada domestic.
Dude, what's he got?
He fucking loves Prince.
He loves Prince.
Every year in each one of his classes, if you had any class, at the end of the year, they would do like a contest to see who got the best score on all the quizzes.
Yeah.
And he would give you a vinyl Purple Rain. He loves Prince.
My buddy Rob from the DA's office.
Your friend? Rob? Yeah.
I've talked to him, and he's ran for judge a couple times, put in for judge.
How'd that go?
He has not won, but he's told me or said if he got elected, he's thinking what he would put up, and he put Oakland athletic stuff, soon to be the Las Vegas Athletics. Shout out to my buddy Rob, the DA.
The DA.
From the DA's office.
The DA's office, okay.
My buddy Rob. So you got to think about that, I guess, if you're going to be a judge, what you're going to put up. Anyway,
I'd make it super serial killer-y, and I wouldn't put anything up. There'd be nothing. It'd just be blank walls.
That's that. Yeah,
and there'd be something on the inside of the door that says "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here."
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
You'll never be a judge, I don't think, right?
Well, first off, I'm never going to run. The slam campaign would ruin me. They'd talk to anybody who went to college with me. They'd be like, "He did what? After 4 beers? Get out of here." I'm too much fun.
Too much fun.
I like to have fun.
So this Kentucky judge is kind of in the middle of nowhere. Real small town.
What, Lexington?
No, it's not in Lexington. Lexington's a big town for Kentucky.
I'm aware, Shane.
This is a small, tiny town. There's camera.
What's it called?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
All right.
I looked it up before. Tiny town. The sheriff ends up shooting this judge. He ends up dying. They have video of the whole thing because there's video within this judge's chambers.
It's called Letcher County, Kentucky.
Yeah, it's tiny.
How interesting.
It's tiny. Austin's going to put up the video that I have linked here. So a lot has come out since this. The first news was just sheriff shoots and kills judge.
But wasn't it because he was doing some cheating or something crazy like that?
So there's been a lot of information.
So it's spelled different, but do you know what the word Letcher means?
No?
I had to look it up. I knew roughly what it meant, but this is the actual definition. This is on dictionary.com. It means a man given to excessive sexual indulgence, lascivious or licentious man. Dead ass. And it's Letcher County. Letcher County, Kentucky, but there's a T instead of just L-E-C-H.
So the judge is accused of running a sex ring, basically, within this town with
That's
inmates.
why it's funny, right? That's why it's funny.
This doesn't come out at first, but then afterwards, the sheriff, puts out through channels, and now, inmates are being interviewed and confirming this.
The county seat is is Whitesburg, Kentucky. The South, Whitesburg.
Yeah, probably that had some racial
Ridiculous.
significance.
It's absurd.
Yeah. So I guess it's a white judge, a white sheriff. The shooting is on camera. It's come out since that there's some accusations that maybe the sheriff's daughter and ex-wife, mother of his daughter, have been involved in this sex ring or being recruited. That was one accusation. Another accusation was just that the judge was protecting them from him and kind of exiling, creating the exiled relationship of daughter and ex-wife. So this is an ongoing thing that more information will come out, but some of these inmates and in custodies are trying to, bring testimony or bring accusations against this judge, and that could be for their benefit. Hey, he put me in jail, so now you got to undermine everything that he did. Look at everything he did again.
Meanwhile, he was running a sex dungeon.
So
and his name, the county he's in, literally means a loose-moraled man.
Very, very small town happenings, and you'd think that this would have come out beforehand, before it got to this point, but people in protected places sometimes don't, are protected from...
Wait a minute. You mean those in power in the system get special treatment?
Yes, that does happen on occasion. And there needs to be people who push back against that and out that. And sometimes their voices are silenced.
And sometimes they're all over national media because of the way that they choose to push back.
I don't know what you're referencing, but yes, that happens.
Mario's brother.
Mario's brother? The Mario brothers?
No, Luigi, you fucking idiot.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Well,
Austin got that before you did, and
hey.
he's 12 years old.
We're not talking.
You're a grown man.
We're not talking about. There haven't been any developments in the last week on that.
There have been.
Of what?
The charges are officially lodged. It's murder, terrorism.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. That's
a development.
a normal step in the process.
I don't know, man, calling it terrorism seems a bit silly to me.
Yeah, but the prosecutor has the
discretion to be an idiot
to a certain extent, because if there's wrongful prosecution,
sure,
you could have some civil, liability on that, some monies that could be paid.
Could you imagine if they screwed it up and then got sued for this one? That would never happen.
No, I mean, all the facts that are coming out look.
For sure, he's fucked. He's cooked, as they say, as the youth say.
I guess this is a good time to talk about wrongful prosecution. We had a judgment that took place in the nearby federal court last week. There was a trial on a lady who was sent to prison for a murder that later she was exonerated of. Right?
She didn't do it?
She didn't do it. So there was some civil accusations after she was exonerated. I think she was exonerated 2017, so about 7 years ago. They start a federal claim for wrongful prosecution for planting evidence. The girl had an alibi. She was a young teenager who had a kind of prior claim for sex assault. She was a victim of sex assault. And Metro then put their eyes squarely on her for a murder that she ended up getting convicted of. So there's an example, one of many, that people can get convicted wrongfully all the time. A jury can be convinced of things because sometimes they don't hold the standard that they should. I guess getting it wrong doesn't mean that they didn't follow the evidence, but I don't know. That's tough. Some people can be wrongfully convicted of things that they undoubtedly didn't do, that DNA can later prove that they didn't do. And if you don't like a defendant, sometimes you'll think they're guilty just because you don't like them. So, young girl gets exonerated, and then she hires some attorneys. Some attorneys take her case for this wrongful prosecution. And just last week, in front of a jury of her peers in federal court, you need a unanimous verdict. She won $34 million. Yeah. So these things are really happening. there are wrongful prosecutions out there. I'm not trying to say that Mr. Luigi, Mario's brother, Luigi Mario, is one of those candidates, but these things happen all the time. You can think that somebody's guilty, and a jury convicted her for, decades. She was in prison for a long time. She's getting paid back money, but that doesn't replace the years that she lost.
How long was she in?
I think it was something like 2001, something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, something like that. I didn't look this one up, but it is.
I was trying to find this one. There's a case that I like, not because it's good, but they used hair to convict a guy, and I want to say it was in Oklahoma. I'm trying to find it right now, but it was dog hair.
Oh, sheesh.
Like,
this was 2001 was the murder, so presumably she's locked up shortly after that, and she got released in January 2018. So she served 16 years, lost 23 years of her life for everything that happened. But the Nevada Supreme Court overturned her conviction. She was accused of murdering a homeless man, so she was convicted twice, even after kind of a preliminary appeal too. So that's just crazy. And she got what's called a certificate of innocence. Do you know what a certificate of innocence is?
never heard of one.
I think it would just come up in an appeal scenario where you're convicted first,
Right.
and then you need something showing you're innocent.
Sure.
So, certificate of innocence, not a normal thing, but that's part of what became important to this Kristen Lobato. So her attorneys did an excellent job, put on a multi-week trial. Obviously, this is important. The federal government, Metro was sued, Las Vegas Metro Police Department. So we're a little unique here in that our sheriff's department covers a lot, because a lot of Vegas, what you consider Vegas, like the Strip, is not within Las Vegas, the city of Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. It's unincorporated, part of the county. So city of Henderson has its own police department. City of North Las Vegas has its own police department. But
don't get arrested in either of those places.
City of Las Vegas does not. They do have a marshal's office, but they really patrol only like Fremont Street is the only places I know, like city buildings. But most the police department is Metro, so they're huge. They do a lot of the investigations. They do all the big investigations for murder, especially anywhere in the county that's not specifically City of Henderson or City of North Las Vegas. So Metro was the one being sued in this federal court case because things go to federal court, specific things go to federal court, and if violation of your constitutional rights, which is what this is, have to go to federal court. So usually, even if we file in state court first, Metro will want to remove that to federal court. They'll push that case to federal court because they like federal court. You need a unanimous jury, so they like that. There's some other rules in place that make it more difficult for plaintiffs, usually in those cases. So that's why these end up in federal court. There was no media allowed in our Nevada federal court. That's just how it is here. In our state court, we've shown you videos. That happens here, but federal court, no media, just kind of written records after. But $34 million verdict. You've done a federal trial here in this same court. Mm-hmm. That one wasn't that long, right? A week?
Yeah.
About a week. And you needed a unanimous verdict. But you guys got it.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah, that was a civil trial. It was a first-party case. What that means is the guy was suing his own insurance company because he had uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage for a car crash case, and they denied his claim. He had like $170,000 in meds, $160,000, something like that, and we got an $870,000 verdict.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That is good.
The best part was I thought for sure that in the jury veneer there was an AG who was in the civil division.
An attorney general.
Mm-hmm. Well, not the attorney general.
Yeah, but somebody,
AG, assistant
an attorney
general. Yeah.
that works at the attorney general's office.
Yes. And so in a first party case, it's a contract case, offer, acceptance, consideration, right?
Yeah.
That's who you want on the jury. You want a civil attorney because they can explain, oh yeah, for sure.
all these elements
You
were
can
met.
skip
Yes.
all the crap about contracts, right, and just get right to whether or not the damages supported it, and did the contract say they had to do something about it. And she was actually our foreperson, and the jury came back fast.
Hey, that was probably why. Part of the reason why.
I would assume so, because you have something to help navigate them through the complexity of contract. I mean, contract's a 1L class, and a lot of people find it difficult.
I think I told you I had a doctor on my last jury on a medical case. So
That's lovely. That's good.
Yeah.
So I found a case. I don't think it's the one I was talking about, but a dude spent 25 years of his life in prison. Santae Tribble, Santae, and the hair that they found belonged to a dog, and the other hair was three other people. But they said it was his hair, but it was a dog and other people. Jeez. And he spent 25 years in prison. And then the shitty thing, he died, like after he got out. He had some kind of illness.
Readjusting to life can be hard. I mean, if that's all you know now, spending 25 years there, that's a long time.
And apparently, the FBI has admitted in 2015 that they had like an issue with their hair comparison, the way that they were doing things. So,
oh, good.
That's not good. I did see some funny stuff when I was looking at this about people that were convicted because of like interesting positive things. Like the dog pisses on the guy's tire when he's at the house committing a murder, and they found the urine on the tire, and the chances of the urine coming from different dogs is 1 in 10 billion.
Wow.
So it was kind of like a reverse, like you had to have been here because it was that dog's piss. And then another one where the guy stepped in dog poop in the yard, same thing. The chances of the dog poop being from different dogs, 1 in X number billion. That's kind of interesting.
Hey, those things can happen, man.
Make sure, do not let that dog pee on your tire.
Yeah.
He'll get you.
Random.
He'll get up again, you.
There was another recent local case.
Did we finish the Kentucky guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, the video is crazy, though.
The video is crazy. We're putting a link up to that.
Okay.
I mean,
in case you want to watch somebody get shot to death.
Yeah, for just the listeners and not video watchers. He tries to kind of block him with his hand, like that's going to do something against a bullet. He just looks away. The judge just looks away and turns.
Just get on your knees.
I don't know.
And put
Try
your
and
hand
rush
on
him.
the back of your head.
Try and rush him. Something if he shoots you. But then I don't know.
He already had the gun out, man.
That sheriff, he wasn't fast moving. He was a bigger guy.
Fastest hands in the East.
Yeah, apparently. It was just kind of weird. And he kind of shot at him weird too, and like he gave him
one of these.
He tried to hide behind his desk, and then he kind of did the gangster move of
Well, I thought he was just trying to get over the desk, which is dumb because like if I see Austin drop below the desk, I'm just gonna track him and then shoot through the desk.
Just get.
Guess what? Bullets don't stop.
Yeah. Oh.
I want to know more about the backstory there. I hope that comes out.
There will be information that comes out. There will be evidence. Maybe at the time of trial.
Sure.
Because as we've seen, these kind of rumors come out during, and then you get more of the information at trial. The prosecution kind of holds back what it has. So there's probably prior conversations, prior recordings, prior text messages.
Yes.
Testimony of...
He seemed pretty calm, though.
He seemed very calm. Yeah. No, it didn't seem like it was a heated
Well, it was definitely an exchange, right? You can't hear what's going on, but you can see him talking, and then all of a sudden he pulls the gun out, and the guy's like, hey, I'm cooked.
Yeah.
I don't know. But also, you never know how you're going to react until somebody actually pulls a weapon on you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's happened to very few people.
4 in the whole world, ever.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I'm just being a smartass.
Most people have not faced that situation.
Yes.
There's another local case of just a disgusting, these things pop up of sexual assault, people who are grooming people. We had another one in town, unfortunately, of a high school track coach. And unfortunately, there's a lot of victims that have come out in this.
I'm going to look him up while you're talking. Keep talking. I'm going to see how many chart counts he's got now. He's in district court, though.
So there's...
He had it as arraignment today.
Already, huh? Did they bind up?
Yeah, they did.
Did they just...
They took it to grand jury.
Oh, you're right. You told me that.
And my friend's daughter had to testify.
Yes. Oh, that's rough. Mm-hmm. So...
What's his douchebag name?
I can't remember. I don't know. So here in Clark County, Nevada, we have 2 ways of a case going from kind of a lower court to a higher court where there's felonies. You can either take through grand jury indictment. You might have heard of a grand jury. In a grand jury, the prosecution presents its evidence
Michael Atwell.
to a grand jury who's hired. This is their job. They get paid to do this.
Not well, I don't think.
I don't think they get paid very much, but it's a way for them to weed out bad cases and good cases. The prosecution is supposed to bring the kind of good evidence in their favor, and they're supposed to bring evidence in contrary as well. So they do have to put on testimony. It's not like it's tested by the defense. They don't have a right to be there. So that's one way, or you can do it through a preliminary hearing where the defense does have the right to be there and cross-examine witnesses. So there's two avenues, and the prosecution gets to decide how they want to do it. They can do it either way, depending on the case, the specific facts. So this one went through grand jury, and it sounds like it passed through grand jury, so it's going straight to the district court now.
Yeah, it was in Eric Johnson's courtroom.
Okay, so Eric Johnson, who was a federal prosecutor before.
He is the perfect judge for this particular case to be in front of.
Well, yeah. So these are local things affecting our community, and
and affecting people that I know personally.
Yeah, so the people that we care about and know on a personal level. These things are real. There are real sexual assaulters amongst us, and sometimes these people are protected by others. There's going to be a civil lawsuit, I'm confident, for this as well. And there's going to be accusations of protection from the school, protection from the church.
Right now, he is charged with 28 counts that are all felonies. Several lewdness with a child under the age of 14. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of those.
Yeesh.
Sex assault of a child under 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Battery with intent to commit sexual assault. Victim under 14 or under 16. 1, 2 of those. And then open or gross lewdness, presence of a child or vulnerable person. And then 2 child abuse, neglect, or endangerments. So the indictment came down on the 13th. They made a motion for bail reduction. And then I think there's more jury trial set for May 5th, 2025. So he did not invoke. Because he has 60 days. Like today was the initial arraignment in district court. So if he invokes the trial in 60 days, he didn't do that.
Yeah. Well.
So we'll see. I mean, look, this dude's what? In his 70s? He's old.
I think you told me that, yeah.
Yeah, he's old. And each one of these, I want to say lewdness is 25 to life or something like that if it's a Megan's Law case. Let me look it up. It's just a word. Anytime that there's something like, it's just, a bad thing that happens. Let's see. Yeah, life with the possibility of parole life with possibility with parole with eligibility for parole beginning when a minimum of 10 years is served. So 10 to life for every single one of the lewdness under 16.
72 years old. That's how old he is now. So,
yeah. And they were all under 14. So he's cooked.
A lot of accusations of sex assaults across all genders.
Yeah. I mean, I've always, I don't like those kind of cases anyway. I don't take them, not because of anything. I hated them when I was a prosecutor. I just don't like the subject matter, man. It's not pleasant. But it's so much worse when it's your buddy,
Yes.
He is my best friend in town, if not one of my best friends. I mean, I don't really count it that way, but I have a few dudes that are in the top, right? And seeing the look on his face, because he called me when the cops called him. He didn't know about any of this. And the crazy thing about this story is, so he's married to this gal that turns out is a meth head. And she had gotten victimized by this guy from her church, which is the church in question, when she was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, when they split up, she's, because she's going down the rails, he hadn't gotten custody of the kid yet. And the guy has custody now. And obviously I can't put any of their names out there. I don't want to. But he has custody of her now, and she's still a minor. She's under 14 still, I believe, if not 14. I can't remember. So the mom moves in with this guy, the bad guy, Atwell, because she didn't have anywhere else to go at one point.
Yeah.
Because of all the drugs and stuff. Brings her 5-year-old at the time with her, knowing that he victimized, that Atwell victimized the mother, leaves the daughter with the victimizer. Right? Like, who does that? Like, if I got victimized as a child and I needed a place to stay, I'm not going to bring my son over there with me and say, hey, watch my 11-month-old while I run to the store. It's like putting the fox in the hen house. Like, you're not going to do that. You know that that's what they're into. I don't know, man. The whole thing is just nuts. But both of the DAs that I talked to, Lombardo and Thanell, told me that, you know, this particular girl did a great job in grand jury. She's going to make a good witness. She's fairly resilient. I've known her since she was like 7, and she was always kind of a jerk, but she's a good kid. I mean, she's nice. She's just got a bit of a mouth on her. And you know, I'm hoping that she's
as resilient. Is that a bad thing to have a mouth on you? Like
as a child?
What? How's your language as a 14-year-old?
I got the shit slapped out of me if I talk like that. So much better than hers. It was a different time though, man. It was, let's see, that would have been 2000. Yeah.
2000
yes, 2,000 years ago.
That's
millennium.
how old he is.
No, it was I was 14 in 2000 or 2001. No, I mean, she's a good enough kid, and she's definitely smart. So I just hope that she's naturally resilient, as she seems to be. I always thought she was tough, you know, and that this doesn't affect her any more than it has to. It just sucks. It already happened, but it's just such a dumb situation, and it's so weird when, you know, I'm on this side of it, so there's nothing I can do about it, right? A, I wouldn't defend the guy if he tried to pay me. B, there's nothing I can do to help my friend.
Yeah, now you have to trust prosecutors, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
That's rough.
But I do know that both of them do a good job.
Yes.
I mean, there have been times that I wanted to shake each one of them, you know,
yes,
like for various things when I'm on the opposite side of the fence.
I know.
The system doesn't always work the way it's supposed to. And I'm not going to lie, man. I made some crappy jokes to Morgan. I was like, oh, so you got, your office is going to do the right thing to make sure there aren't any evidentiary issues in this one, right? You're going to do everything right? As opposed to like in that, you know.
You still just have to.
I have to
prod the bear.
I can't not. But they're doing great. Everything seems good. It's just a crappy situation, man. And the worst thing is there's like a ton of victims.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a bad situation. The DA's office is doing as good as they can. The thing that was crazy about it to me was that his bail was only $250,000.
That's low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a kid call me today, or his family called me, because it's a child, one count of child abuse. Something happened with a baby, physical damage, not molestation.
One count, not 30, right?
Yeah, with no record. $100,000 bail. This guy has 30 counts of things that are like, any one of them, you spend the rest of your life in prison, even if you're your age. With him, he definitely dies in prison. Take his bail away. Apparently he's loaded, right? He's got the means to get away. Nope, $250,000. Which is only 2.5 times more than my guy, or not my guy. He's not my client yet, but this guy who has one count. And again, it's not a good count. I'm not saying
it's always apples and oranges, but
I don't know, dude. It just it seems like
that guy should
random.
Not. Yeah, you don't want him to even be able to see, you know, the inside of his home again, because he doesn't deserve that. Right?
No, he doesn't deserve it.
But hey, we're supposed to reserve judgment.
We are reserving judgment. Well, you can. I can't in this one. I'll admit it. I could not be on the jury.
You're biased, yeah.
It'd be like that scene from Boondocks. Hang him! I don't need to deliberate. Guilty. And as
you see, everyone is affected by their personal opinion on criminal cases.
We all have biases, and I'm freely admitting it right now. My boy and I have always made the joke that if you called me, I'm there, and I told him, I was like, dude, is he out right now? That was the first thing I said when he told me he was on his way to the police station. I was like, is old boy out? Where's he at?
I'm about to find some self-defense.
Let's go get him. Let's go get him. And he was like, no, I think he's in custody. Here's his name. And I looked him up. I was like, oh, yeah, he's in custody. That's probably better. Because I was ready. I was like, let's do it.
Well.
But we didn't have to, thank God.
Who's his attorney?
Marchese.
Okay.
Jess is a good attorney.
Hopefully he doesn't do as good as you.
No, I'm never going to say that.
You're not rooting for him this time.
I'm not necessarily ever rooting for him. I'm rooting for justice. And I'm rooting for the system to work the way it's supposed to. And as much as what I'm about to say makes me sick, if somehow the state fucked the investigation and violated this dude's rights,
I don't know how they could.
I don't either.
What evidence are they going to get that's not testimony?
I don't
you know?
either. I'm just saying if they did, hypothetically, Marchese's a good enough attorney. He will exploit that to the way you're supposed to. And guess what?
There you go.
That would suck because then old boy would go free for a little while.
I don't,
For a little while.
For a little while. Oh,
catch
wow.
my drift.
Okay.
Not me, but somebody would.
Yeah, no, there's many victims.
There's 40 families that have been affected by this. Somebody's going to smoke that dude.
Yeah. No, that happens.
Yeah. Not that it would be good. We don't condone vigilante justice. Sorry that I've already incriminated myself.
We're not trying to become suspects number one.
Even if it's not me, it's
here.
like I'm going to get arrested because it's the 4 viewers on our podcast.
Yeah, if he somehow...
Shout out to Hannah, Carrie Maxey, Julie Fox, and I don't know who the fourth, Austin, the 4th viewer.
My father-in-law, Corey.
Oh, Corey, thanks, dude.
Rob, my friend from the DA's office.
From the DA's. Oh, yeah, that's right. Rob watches it. So, all right, 5 viewers. Hell yeah, look at us.
5.
We're almost on 2 hands. Can we get one more? Let's go. All right, let's do the next topic. Talking about this douchebags make me upset.
So you led into this. You kept asking me, is that the Lori Shaver case? Is that the Lori Shaver case?
Because your stupid thing is not this day. It's just a bunch of random shit.
It does. It says that.
It didn't.
Oh, all right.
I didn't see it.
Lori Shaver. This Lori Shaver
What the fuck
case.
are you giggling about?
Giving him shit about how he's organizing it.
Yeah.
This is based on Austin. Lori Shaver is my hat of the day.
She has
Okay.
a hat?
No, because she's near Kissimmee.
Does it say tortas?
No, I don't think she's a torta anyway. Kissimmee Cobras. Okay?
Austin loves tortas.
So Kissimmee is a city just south of Orlando, very near Disney World. Okay, and this is a very 80s, 90s logo of a cobra. Just a
Cobra Kai?
a menacing snake here.
Cobra Kai.
Kissimmee Cobra, a cream hat, black bill for the audio listeners. And
it's got a logo on the side too that looks like a HC.
yeah, that's.
But is it CH?
No, that's HC. That's Hat Club. This is a Hat Club exclusive. Yes, Hat Club website.
Wait, you're in the Hat Club for men?
No.
You're not only a member, you're also the president?
Just
Do you remember those commercials? Hair Club for Men?
Yes, I know.
Whatever, dude.
You would know.
I'm old.
So-
Fuck you. First off, I will fight you today.
You're ready to. I know.
I'm ready to punch someone in the neck.
We have a bet going on. We're gonna fight next year if something happens. I can't remember. what it
No,
is.
we're not going to fight. If the firm doesn't make,
More money.
is it
I don't remember.
either way?
We're
He's
fighting.
going to have a jiu-jitsu match in the back of the office, and I'm not going to hurt him. Just like Austin, I'm just going to hold him down and emasculate him a little bit, and then spit in his mouth. That's it.
Oh,
I didn't get that treatment.
Oh.
What was that?
I know what you would have done if I did that. All right, you'd have got all riled up and sex crazed, and then would have definitely been able to beat me. I'm not going to allow for that.
so
I know how your generation works.
we talked about Sarah Boone. By the way, if you didn't see, Sarah Boone wrote a letter to the court. Super interesting. Look it up if you haven't. She blamed everybody but herself in this letter.
Oh, I was like, we're not
was
fucking
hilarious.
talking about her again. We're done with
We're
that.
done with her.
Thank
but
God. Anyway, Kiss Me, Florida.
Her case, I think, overshadowed this Lori Shaver case, which I think is maybe even more interesting.
Lori Shaver is? Did
Laura-
she
oh.
lock somebody in a refrigerator?
No, not a refrigerator. I told you about this one a little bit. Lori Shaver's husband
Oh, yeah. You told-
went missing, who worked at Disney World near Kissimmee, Florida.
She doesn't look like a torta.
No, you were saying she's a torta for no
She does
reason
have crazy
whatsoever.
eyebrows, though.
She is crazy, turns out. So Lori Shaver's husband went missing, and her family asked Lori, "Where is he?" She
Did
said,
he go to
I don't know. He disappeared.
Did he go somewhere but really he got ate by a tiger, Carol Baskin?
Something like that. So Lori Shaver's husband is missing for years. Years.
Where?
I remember hearing they found him.
Okay, you look that up. You keep talking.
Costa Rica or something. Wasn't he in Central
He
America?
wasn't dead?
No. He was affiliated with some drug people. Was the accusation.
I love that.
And just up and went. So Lori Shaver's husband is missing. Is just
They only
missing.
deliberated for 4 hours.
Is just missing.
Okay.
Who knows where he went? When all of a sudden it's found out that her
He was missing from November of 2015 until 2018.
so missing 3 years. Okay. Accusations start. His body's found underneath kind of
Concrete,
their burn where they have their fires in their backyard. So his body's found.
Okay.
This case gets to trial just recently because COVID happens. A lot of things happen. So not much information is known, but she's saying that it's self-defense. We know there's going to be a self-defense argument made, okay?
Sure.
At trial, her 14-year-old daughter testifies that at 7 years old, she was the one that in fact shot her dad because
While he was beating the mom.
her dad was attacking mom. Yeah. So the 7-year-old had access to the handgun, got the handgun, and pulled the trigger, killing dad. And
Dude, she got a life sentence.
in order to protect her mom, that's what she did. 7-year-old cannot be prosecuted for murder. Too young to understand what's going on. So who knows what the conversations are to push daughter to do this. Also, on
Maybe the
another
daughter
hand,
actually shot him.
maybe. On another hand, she also accused her boyfriend at the time. So she had kind of a side piece, a boyfriend who he was also cheating on his wife with her,
Love that.
of him being the one who ended up pulling the trigger. So he got up and testified and said that he had no involvement whatsoever, didn't even know about it. You know, this is just her on her own making it up. Lady seemed crazy the entire time. Putting your 14-year-old daughter through this, having to testify, not that she could influence her to or not, but she was subpoenaed to testify and for some reason said that she pulled the trigger. Self-defense, but didn't call the police right after. Ended up putting the body back there, being involved in that. Jury of her peers did not buy that whatsoever. And like you said, on a murder case, having a 4-hour deliberation is absolutely insane.
They did come back with not guilty on accessory after the fact, which means that they completely disregarded her story.
Yeah. So, did not believe that boyfriend was involved. He testified. He had really long hair. He was ex-military too, but he kind of,
He obviously did it.
He came out and said he cheated, I guess. He was cheating on his wife with her.
With the crazy lady.
Yeah.
That's rule number 1. You do not put it in a crazy lady.
Yes. Okay. So this case is still ongoing. There will be some post-trial motions and things like that
It won't work.
on this case. It's just the insane part of having somebody testify that at 7 years old they pulled the trigger. Some people are questioning,
Unless they
will
did.
they? I guess who knows, right? It's so old.
There's only 3 people that know, and one of them's dead.
He could have gotten shot in the back. I don't know how specifically he was shot, and one's not going to ever, take responsibility for shooting.
Sure.
Mom's not going to take responsibility, but the fact that they hid this body for so long is
So she was she out the whole time until they found the body in
Yes.
2018?
Yeah, she was just living her life normally.
Dude, how'd they find it? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that more to see
I'm
how
gonna
they
look it up right now.
ended up finding it. I don't know if the daughter ended up eventually mentioning it. This was an investigation for a while. They always put wife or ex-wife or significant others, suspect number 1. In a missing persons case, the odds that they might just be dead is always a consideration. Of course, you need probable cause to search a house, right? Mm-hmm. So they have
someone missing is probable cause, I would say, to search their fucking house.
to search their house, but is it enough to dig under? How far can you look? How far can you look? And it
You
was
can only go 3 feet down.
it was alleged it was under the fire pit.
I'm making stuff up, dude.
So kind of a
Austin's looking at me like, whoa, what?
kind of a hidden spot. Is that real law? 3 feet? Wow.
3 feet.
I'm digging 4 feet. Hey, people, we always see people buried in shallow graves because people don't appreciate how difficult of labor it is to dig in the earth. So That power equipment, the backhoe or whatever you need, you actually do need it. The Bobcat.
I read an
whatever.
interesting thing that talked about
So 4 feet would be a difficult
you bury the body 8 feet deep, and then you bury a dog or something
on top,
like 3 feet deep. So they'll dig down, they'll find the dog, and then they won't check that spot again. Yeah, Austin's writing it down. I don't know if that would really work.
This is not legal advice. This is not legal advice.
I don't know. It was just an interesting meme I saw, and I was like, "Oh, that's clever. I would never have thought of that."
Yeah. Well, look into how they ended up finding the body.
I can't find it.
And people always question us like, "Oh, you don't have all the information." We get what the news tells us because we don't really know. These things are held tightly, to some chest. They're in police reports that we don't have access to. Sometimes that stuff comes out at trial. Mm-hmm. The fact that they find the body and probable cause is not, it's not investigated or not put up in this case. We don't know if there's pretrial motions that tried to limit that or not. I don't know. Those kind of things can come up. The fact that they waited, it took that long means something must have triggered it. Something must have preempted this and started this investigation to look into the backyard. A young girl living with, she had to have witnessed this murder in some aspect and living with that.
Sure.
And so if she all of a sudden in 6th grade, 7th grade says, "Oh yeah, no, I watched my dad die," or something like that, that could be enough.
So
I'm just saying that could happen. That could have been it.
Shaver's current husband, this is on Court TV. It's kind of a breakdown of certain days. Shaver's current husband took the stand and testified. He said, "I never asked wife about the body in the yard." And then this says, "A witness received a poem, 'My wife is a whore, your husband is too.'"
Yeah.
And that's from her husband, supposedly.
I'm just surprised this case
I can't
got
find
overshadowed.
anything about how he was found. It's just saying he was found under the concrete block, but it doesn't say like
what
caused
prompted
them to
that.
look under there. Yeah.
What prompted that? So I don't know either.
He was hold on, I think I found it.
Tell us what you found.
His body was discovered on March 9, 2018 after a friend reported him missing and police conducted a wellness check. Authorities found his body beneath a fire pit and concrete slab in the backyard. That doesn't really give me much. I'm just guessing that they went over there and they were like, "Hey, someone dug right there. Let's see what they dug about."
There's fresh dirt. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot harder to hide a body than people think.
Anyway, let's continue. So they found him. Nobody believed her. Her mug shots look a little crazy. She does have wild eyebrows. Just grow them. Just grow your eyebrows. I do it. They work. It's fine. What's next, man? Are we still on this one?
No, there's nothing more interesting than this one. I like making your daughter testify. Having your daughter testify in a case like this is just...
Can I offer a counter opinion? Daughter already lost her dad.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't want to lose her mom too. And you're right. It's a free pass.
Man, being put in that spot though.
What if she wanted to be in that spot? What if she's just as wild as her mom? And she says, "Look, I know you did it, but it seems that maybe he beat her ass too. There's a bunch of DV stuff in the history." Again, not justifying it. I'm just saying, like, I can understand why someone would do that. I told you about that DV case I had where the 6-year-old tells the cops the night of that, like, she saw her stepdad choke her mom almost out.
Yeah.
And then when I put her on trial, she, like, very clearly was coached and was saying it
180.
didn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
And that kid was, like, freaking out. So, I don't know, man. Like, weird stuff happens.
I mean, the public wants to have this 15-year-old girl brought on for charges as well.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, well, the public is a bunch of idiots.
I'm just telling you, these are the people that are watching these trials, which is a small segment of the community that
Affirmative murder porn watchers.
yes, that always sees convictions.
Yeah.
So they always think people are guilty even before hearing the evidence. So
Austin thinks everybody's guilty.
you know, until you're facing down the barrel, right? And then it's completely different.
Until the bodies in his backyard are found.
Yeah.
Did you bury him under a concrete slab?
It's a good place to
No,
put him.
I didn't even bury him. I just put tarp.
Oh, sheesh. All right. Yeah, your next door neighbors are going to make comments about that soon.
Axe body spray. Hell yeah. It's like
gosh.
it's like my boxing gloves when they really get spicy. I spray some Lysol in there. Cleans it right up.
Poison damage? Just spray on the...
No, inside.
Oh, I think you're talking about on the front.
No, poison damage.
While we're on the subject of Florida, there's another one that
Florida man.
I told you about. These are Florida women. Ooh. So 60-year-old Susan Lawrence was sentenced just before Thanksgiving, 25 years. I don't know if we mentioned this one on the podcast before, but there was a fight between neighbors. And when I do HOA law, I see all these fights between neighbors, and it's just like, don't fight with your neighbors. I have the best neighbors. I get along with my neighbors. Who a black young single mom comes and knocks on the door, and 60-year-old white woman shoots through the door, ends up killing this lady. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, she gets charged under a murder umbrella, and we've talked about manslaughter charge before, and she was convicted of manslaughter for shooting through the door. Okay. This was a 3.5-hour sentencing, so a long sentencing. You have a lot of victims that are victim impacts, victim speakers that talk. The whole fight was that these kids were playing in the yard of the white woman. And so she's upset by that. And so instead of talking...
Saying, hey, get out of my yard.
Yeah, she shoots through the door.
Obviously.
So why you would shoot through the door thinking that that's self-defense, unless, the hinges are coming off.
So...
I just don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Unless they're booting it down, in which case we've talked about it, I wouldn't wait.
Yeah.
But you said Florida, speaking of Florida man or whatever. So I remembered this thing where you type Florida man and then your birthday. So I typed mine in and it said Florida man arrested for throwing alligator through drive-through window on my birthday in 2016.
Oh, good.
He was charged with assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill after allegedly throwing an alligator through a fast food chain's drive-through window, and then there's a picture of this alligator just like on the floor and like very clearly it looks like a Sonic kitchen. Joshua James, 24, threw a 3.5-foot alligator through the Palm Beach County Wendy's drive-through. Dang it, so close. Florida Fish and Wildlife. He was charged with. He was also charged with illegally possessing an alligator and petty theft. His mugshot's awesome. Did you get it?
No, I have that one, but I looked up mine.
All right, so you can put the two pictures on here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's yours?
Gator.
Yeah.
Mine says it was over a penny. Florida man charged after slapping hot coffee on McDonald's drive-thru employee over a penny. I guess they didn't give him his change. Yeah.
Wow, you guys have fast food ones, huh?
Yeah. That's makes sense for me.
Mine is Florida man wearing gloves steals all the chicken wings at 7-Eleven, officials say.
Yours is kind of fast food-ish.
Why is the fact that he's wearing gloves?
Ooh, I got one from 2024. My birthday this year. Let's see. It's different. Sorry, I got us on a different one. It says Florida man ditches stolen Palo Alto plane on Half Moon Bay Beach. And this dude just stole a plane and then flew it and then wrecked it on the beach. So he stole a plane and then just... That's funny.
Nice. All right, how much time? All right.
I got one from NPR. Sorry, one more.
All right, one more.
One more.
Una mas.
It says, Florida man accused of shoplifting while holding a puppy.
Okay.
Found driving with 259 stolen goods and a floppy-eared puppy. The puppy looked right at the camera when the police snapped a mugshot. And I'm trying to find the picture. I can't. It's not pulling it up. But this is on NPR, so I'm assuming it's real.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, why is it fast food and animals? That's crazy.
I don't know. Florida's insane. We get a lot of cases we talk about from Florida, dude.
It's the humidity. It makes people go crazy.
Okay, let's talk about Illinois now. Are you ready?
Illinois.
Listener question. Is Kevin McCallister justified in setting up booby traps in not only one, but 2 movies against the Wet Bandits in the Home Alone films?
Yes.
Or is he a felon now? Well, film 1 was in Chicago. Film 2 is in New York, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So let's analyze this under Illinois law and New York law.
I don't know either of those. I know that New York uses.
You've
well,
practiced.
I know
you know some New
I know
York
New York
law.
but like Illinois, I got no idea. So the thing that I know, I saw this really interesting meme. This is separate to this, but it said that Kevin McCallister was a child who was left by his parents. One phone call would have saved him. The police would have come whenever he wanted to.
Why didn't he call him?
Hold on. He wanted to hunt those men.
Yeah.
I love that one. So the thing is with that, I also saw another video breakdown of like the injuries that they would have sustained, and it did like a sports science,
fire in the hair.
getting hit with the tin can, like how it would have fractured your skull. They'd be dead 20 times over. So because
this is a children's movie,
because
by the
he's
way.
a kid,
Yes.
I think he avoids prosecution because he's so young. I think he's
How old is he?
he's like 8.
Kind of depicted in the movie. 7?
Hold on, Kevin McCallister,
let's
age in movie.
let's go to the lore here so we can really dive in.
8 in the 1998 movie.
8
I was
years
right,
old?
and he was 10 in the 92 sequel. So
I mean, here in Nevada, you can be charged at 8 years old, but
right, but it's a different standard. I think it's 8 to 14. So anyway, you're not allowed to set what they call spring traps, right? I can't defend my home with a spring trap. But the thing that I'm running to in my head is that's generally like I can't just set up those little shotgun warning devices. Have you seen those? Do they send you those links on Instagram and stuff? They send them to me.
no.
It's basically they put a 12 gauge inside this little canister, which the way a shotgun shell works, it's different than other rounds. If you hit it, it's still going to have some propulsion forward because the shotgun shell is basically kind of like a little barrel, right? It's all packed down in there and then the ends are folded with the wadding and everything. But basically you put a 12 gauge in there and it's a tripwire so that when it hits, it just shoots. Not real accurate, but for the 3 feet around the end of it, it's going to blow whatever it is off.
That's going to hurt you.
Oh yeah, it's going to blow one of your legs off. You can't do that. But if they're trying to come in my house and I know they're coming through that door, I'm allowed to shoot them in the face. So at that point, I should be allowed to set a trap that's going to kill them. I can't just set a trap for whoever's trespassing, but if I know that guy's breaking into my house, however, New York is model penal code. So you have a duty to retreat. Meaning you're allowed to defend yourself with lethal force, but only after you try to retreat. So if I'm on the first floor and I have to run up to the second floor and I can't get out the window, I'm stuck, then I can kill them.
And these guys are just trying, my understanding, and
They're the wet bandits.
Not that he knows it. They're just trying to steal items.
Yeah, and it's 1990.
But it's his perception, a child's perception of whether, there's imminent harm.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'd have been scared for sure, but also, he attacked him with a tarantula. He slipped him on some stairs, nails, Christmas ornaments, all sorts of bad things.
I mean,
but he wanted to hunt those men.
Well,
for sure.
They wanted to hunt him after, right?
Oh, yeah.
The fact that there's a Home Alone 2.
Also, how do you only get 2 years? Because the other one was in 92. It goes 90 to 92, and they're already out for their aggravated burglary charge.
What is that
I don't-
normally carry?
Did it define it? Well,
I don't know.
it's
But also
it's fact specific.
But also the thing is, it wouldn't be just that house because they got caught in his house as the wet bandits, and there were however many houses that were wet bandits before. So
But
you're going to end up.
maybe they didn't have the evidence for that to convict.
It's circumstantial. It's good enough.
I don't
Have
know.
you met our DA's office?
I don't know.
That's getting charged?
And this is in Chicago, man. They got busy stuff they're working on.
Like real crimes?
Well, this is in the nice area. Have you seen Kevin McCallister's home?
It looks real nice.
How did he afford that?
He didn't afford anything. His dad did.
Yeah. How did they afford that?
He was a stockbroker.
He was a mobster, is what some of the memes say. He was a mobster. This
Merry
was
Christmas, you filthy animal.
This was a higher job. This was a higher job.
Anyway, the thing is, he's 8, so he's probably going to get it to escape criminal liability. Because of the model penal code and because what I think I know about Illinois law, you're probably in some trouble there. You're not allowed to defend yourself. The criminals get to win, so don't do that.
Okay.
But fun thought exercise. And if you're looking to be entertained, you should look that thing up where it talks about the injuries they would have sustained in the movies. It's pretty interesting. It breaks it down like how often they would have died. and how severely burned they would have been and things like that. Like when he touches the door handle, and it's like you got 3rd-degree burns on your hand.
All right. Harry and Marv escaped from prison
Oh,
in Home Alone 2, which is very,
Whoa.
very likely. Yes.
Escape from prison and
Escape-
immediately go to murder a 10-year-old.
Escape from prison, and they go to New York. They happen upon each other. Because again, this is a children's movie, so it's not as accurate. It's just
Oh, so they didn't go
a
to kill
fun
him.
story. No.
But also in the second movie, Home Alone 2.
This is the second movie. Yeah,
No,
the pigeon
I'm trying
lady
to.
is
She's
scary.
terrifying, dude.
I remember that.
But
as a kid.
she's actually just a sweetheart, and her name is Brenda Fricker. She's Irish. That's the actual actress.
okay.
She won an Academy Award.
As pigeon lady, an unnamed woman.
Pigeon lady.
Pigeon lady. Sorry,
He just can't speak.
I can't talk too good. How can you lose your kid twice and not realize it? That's insane.
You have 17 children.
And
I guarantee you one of them could accidentally.
I have never lost any.
You're telling me you couldn't turn around?
except for that one time.
You tell me one of them couldn't skedaddle and you'd be like, oh shit, where'd he go?
That's not what happened though, and
just saying.
they didn't realize it.
Wait, there was a pigeon lady.
They only had
wasn't,
3 kids anyway.
wasn't there also a guy in the first movie, like the dude with the snow shovel? He was way creepier than the pigeon lady. I actually kind of like pigeons. They're fun. I would have one for a pet, probably.
That is random. Thank you for listening to another episode of Tangled Rights. Hopefully,
appreciate it.
we answered your question about legality of Home Alone. This has been analyzed before by others, but
Yeah. Was I
you're
on track?
you're so on track, dude.
Fucking
You're
liar.
the best attorney in this town. Hire Cox and Wilson. Slay all day. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
In bloodlines, boys. Let's do it.
Don't know what that means.
It means in bloodlines, dude. Always carry.
Always carry. Have a great end of the year.
Yes.
Don't get arrested, but if you do,
If you do, call me. I got you.
Cox and Wilson.
Don't do the SFSTs. Don't talk to cops.
Refuse breath
Up and
test. too.
yes, but do the blood test at the last minute so you don't lose your license for a year.
Do the blood test. Yes,
And
you can't refuse.
don't get arrested in Henderson.
You can't refuse a blood test. Don't get arrested in Henderson.
You can refuse the DNA test. It ain't yours.
Not my kid.
Not mine.
Peace. God, I'm joking.